Hey, what's good YouTube? Antayami here, and we're back with another deck profile. Sorry, I'm kind of recording this early in the morning, so I'm a little tired, or still kind of like waking up a bit, but I wanted to do a deck profile of my Sky Striker deck, just to get it out there, because I've been seeing so many different like Sky Striker builds, and I just kind of wanted to throw my 2 cents out there just in case people want to adapt to kind of like my build, something like really special, but just to throw it out there. So I'm not gonna waste any more time. I'm gonna go ahead and jump into the list, maybe talk about some of the choices, but nothing too crazy. So let's go ahead and hop into the list. All right. First, let's just talk about the Sky Striker monsters. I play 3 Ray and 2 Rose. I think this is standard for me. I personally like double Rose. I mean, of course, triple Ray is standard. Like, there's no reason for you not to, like, ever not play 3. Like, she is the main monster. You always want this card in the graveyard. If your Sky Striker monsters ever blow up, she'll come back and give you more, you know, fighting chances. Like, she's the main one that you always want to see in the grave, and she could be like more of an extension plays. There are times where you can blow up your opponent's link monster or monster in the extra deck, and you can make extension plays off of this, but mostly I use her effect from the hand, and it's pretty useful, so I like to. And plus, you need to see a Ray Sky Striker card or a Sky Striker monster to go into your plays, because if you have any of these 5 cards, you can play the game. If you don't, you can't play the game. Going into the non-Sky Striker monsters, non-hand trap. This is the only monster I play that's not a hand trap, pretty much. Pankratops, this is a going second build. I forgot to mention that, but this is a going second build. So I'm running a lot of kind of like breaking board cards to kind of like interact with my opponent, breaking their boards down, and then after that playing a very good grindy Sky Striker game to outpace my opponent. So we're going with a lot of going second cards here, and Pankratops made it because Pankratops is just a really amazing going second. Going into the hand traps here, we have triple Ash, just a generic card that can hit pretty much anything in the meta for the most part. It hits at least every deck in some kind of form or capacity. Ghost Spell, I've been loving Ghost Spell. This card hits so much, and I had like no idea to the number of cards that this card can actually hit. The major thing I like hitting is like Call by the Grave, and then of course in like certain matchups, like I haven't really went against Drytron, so I haven't really like figured out how to play against Drytron with this deck. But with the Tri Brigade, you can hit the Revolt, and that's so huge. Like, it's amazing. Double Effect Veiler and triple Imperm. See if I can kind of center that a little bit to make it look a bit better. But yeah, these are my hand trap lineups. This deck is basically handtrap.net. So this is what I like to use, and I think it's very effective. So you basically got like 5, you know, effect veilers, and then you got 5 kind of like, you know, deck and graveyard interruptions, which I think is a pretty good balance. Going into the spells, we got triple Widow Anger. I mean, it's self-explanatory. Like, you gotta play 3 of these. This is like your pretty much one of your best cards in the deck. You can take cards, you can negate monster effects. It's just a really good card. It's amazing. Very unfair, by the way. I think so. Another 3 of, I play triple Afterburners. The reason why I like playing 3 at the moment, and I don't know if it's going to change or not, but so far I've been liking 3. Because I think before I played 2 not Widows. I played 2 Afterburners, and then I played a Jammy Waves here. But I kind of want to make sure I can actually interact and break my monster or my opponent's monster board. Now, how the format is going to shape up, I have no idea what's going to be more popular, but I don't know. I might go back to Widow, or I keep saying Widow Anchor. Widow Anchor's in my brain. 2 Afterburners and 1 Jammy Waves, because actually you can set your fill spell and then Jammy Waves your fill spell and get a Ray from there, which is kind of cool. Probably doesn't come up as much as I would like, but it's just a really cool interaction if the jamming waves is dead in the matchup. But so far, I do like triple Afterburner because it's just like something that your opponent has to deal with, and it's a very hard card to deal with. And it can also pop back row, which is also very versatile. That's why I like it. That's it for the 3 ofs. 2 ofs, Sky Striker cards. I play double Sky Striker Shark Cannon. I think 2 is fine. Don't want to break with 3 because you're going second. So call by the grave, or I guess interacting with your opponent graveyard at that point is kind of not as strong. 2 area 0. I don't like 3. I think 3 is too much, but 2 right now is perfect. For the 1-of Sky Striker cards, I play, of course, Engage, Multi-Roll, Hercules Base, Hornet Drones, and a card that I used to hate in Sky Strikers and now I absolutely love is Ego Booster. Ego Booster makes sure that your Link monster, like it's say, like for example, if Kagari gets like a Veiled or it gets Imperm, you can still grab back wherever you need to grab back. Same thing with like Suzuku or anything that needs protection. And also it can also prevent your monster from being destroyed by battle if you have 3 or more in like late game scenarios. Again, it doesn't come up as much as I would like, but it does come up, and I do like it for making sure that your plays go through, which is really cool. Hornet Drones, I mean, nothing you really need to talk about it. It's just another monster. And also it puts a spell in the graveyard, so really, really good. Hercules Base, I personally like this card because there's been times that I have resolved the attacking twice cause, you know, to prevent not really prevent, but to help me like draw some cards, or I can, you know, recycle my monsters back into the graveyard. So really cool. Also, I have found myself equipping this to my opponent's monster, because again, whoever's equipped with this card cannot attack directly, and sometimes that does save me. Not too often, but it has saved me in the past. Of course, Multi-Roll and Engage. I mean, we're not gonna talk about the EC cards. Like, these cards are just amazing. They'll probably never come back past 2 or 3, but yeah. For non-Sky Striker spells, I play double Droplets because it's a going second deck. Triple T, really good card. I like it because if you do decide to get hand trapped, because now Engage is back into the meta. So like if they ash or Engage, you can, you know, Triple T. It's also really good for breaking boards too, because my favorite thing to do with this card is taking Dragoon, popping 2 monsters on their side of the field, and then swinging for game. It's so good. But this card definitely comes in clutch in a lot of scenarios. In some matchups, I do like to side it out for other things, but it's a good card, and I think it's really good going second. Reinforcements of the army. Of course, you got the terraforming. I play the one Mystic Mine, one Upstart because it's literally a free spell, and I absolutely love Mind Control. Mind Control is such a good card. You could take somebody's Appaloosa, you could take just another key card that they are using, and you can no more summon, or you could play like Hornet Drones and make a Zeke or something and banish and make really cool plays. Or even you can take a Link monster that's like Link 3 and summon Ray and make an SS Code Talker and do some stuff. Like, it just, Mind Control is really, really good. I do like it for going second, and it has break a lot of boards if I ever draw it going second. Amazing. My extra deck is kind of like mixed up. I should have organized it a little bit better, so let me just organize it really fast. Shouldn't take too long. Sorry, being not prepared for a deck profile here. I just decided to wake up and just do it. So probably should have just organized this a little bit better. Okay. For the Sky Striker cards, we got 2 Haates. We have triple Kagari, triple Suzuku. Pretty much, I feel like this is pretty much standard. People could play 2 or 3 of these. I prefer 2 because the first one kind of dumps whatever you like or whatever you need. The second one is kind of like backup if the first one doesn't go through. and like the third one doesn't really do much, so I kind of like cut it. But again, you can play 2 or 3, just definitely up to your preference. And of course, Kagari is just Kagari. You got to play 3Ds and play 3 Suzuku. Like, I'm pretty sure that's mandatory. I've seen people play 2 Kainas. I personally like 1. She does come up at times, but I think 1 is perfectly fine. You could play 1 Zeke. Some people have played 2 Zekes, but I think 1 Zeke is just perfectly fine. And especially since I play Hercules base, you kind of can recycle it, so there's no reason for me to play past 2. So, yeah, that's the way I have it. So that's it for the Sky Striker links. For the extra links, we have Link Kribo, Needle Fiber. I technically right now do not have a Celine, so this is kind of like my Celine right here. But eventually I will be picking up a Celine. But of course you play like your access code package right here, where you go into Needle Fiber, bring out Fake Veiler go into Celine will go into Access Code Talker, and you swing with 53 while popping their entire board, which is really strong. And of course I played in Nigirsu because of the Link Kribo, so if I do go into like the Needle Fiber play, I can special summon a level 1 tuner monster, go into Link Kribo, link these 2 off, and go into Nigirsu. Now, personally, this card have not came up currently yet, at least not with this combo play, but there's going to be times where when you cut this card's going to come up, so it happens to me all the time, so I'm going to keep this card in here for now, because, you know, Sky Striker decks are kind of flexible on the extra deck, you know, so might as well go ahead and keep that in there. And yeah, guys, so I think that's going to be it for my deck profile. So that's going to be it, guys. Have a great one. Leave a comment down below if you guys, you know, see changes or anything like that. But I wanted to practice this deck to learn it, and I really need to learn and master the Sky Striker mirror match, because that's probably going to be very popular once the ban list settles in, and I want to get really good with this deck. I played with this deck when Engage was at 3, and I still struggle in the mirror match, but now since Engage at 1, I feel like the mirror match is going to take a little bit more skill, and the deck is already skillful enough. So with that said, guys, have a great one.